Hey there pranksters, welcome back to another prank video. So in this video I will be showing you guys how to set up 30 pranks and booby traps at home on friends and family. Well, hopefully you can have a little fun with these pranks. As far as the giveaways for this video, if we get 2,000 likes I will give away a slime making kit. At 8,000 likes, I'll give away some AirPods. If we get 35,000 likes, I will give away an Xbox Series X. And to participate, all you have to do is like this video and leave a cool comment below telling me which was the best prank that you pulled off this April Fool's Day. Also, next to your comment, leave your Instagram username. Remember that these giveaways are open to anyone, no matter where you live or what your age is. Everyone is eligible. Just like and comment on this video. One last thing guys, as you are aware, in a previous video I announced that I would be starring in a movie called Prankster, and I am beyond excited about that. So I wanted to ask you guys to please check out the Indiegogo campaign for that film. All fan support is appreciated and every bit counts, so when you guys get a chance, please check out the Indiegogo campaign for the film Prankster. Let's begin by booby trapping a bunch of snacks, and here I have a pouch of Kool-Aid jammers. This prank will also work with a Capri Sun or pretty much any juice pouch. Basically what we're gonna do is just make a slit on the back, just like this. It's on the upper part and it's horizontal. And of course keep that cut away from your victim's view. And when they attempt to put the straw in, by squeezing on the pouch, it will cause a spill all over the table. For this next prank, we're gonna take a cup of mini Oreos and dump them all out onto a bowl because we will be replacing them with some hot Cheetos extra. And these guys are some really hot chips, and not anybody can handle them. So if this cup of mini Oreos belongs to one of your siblings and they just hate spicy foods, they won't be happy when they find out what's inside. Now guys, that same cup of Oreos we can booby trap a different way. This time keep the contents inside. All we're gonna do is flip the cup upside down and then cut off the bottom. Now that it's exposed, just place a napkin over it to help us flip it right side up. Slide out the napkin and the prank is set. This is what will happen next time someone lifts up this mini Oreos cup. They'll get them all over the place. Here's a cool way to booby trap a box of M&Ms like this one right here. Let's begin by emptying them out onto a bowl. We will be putting them back eventually though. Now take an empty glue stick and fill it up with some of the hottest hot sauce that you can find. The glue stick should be able to fit inside the box of M&Ms, although it might be quite snug. At this point, just put the M&Ms back inside and leave the box standing up. Once your victim finds the M&Ms and tries to get some, they will be getting some hot sauce as well. It will totally ruin their M&Ms. Another hot sauce prank that you can do with candy is the following. Just take your victim's push pop, like this one, and pop off the cap. Add a little bit of hot sauce in there, and while upside down, put the push pop back in, and when it's flipped over, the candy of the push pop will get marinated with all that hot sauce. It might not be as tasty anymore. Check it out guys, here I have a bag of cheese puffs and I'm gonna flip it upside down and open it. By removing all the cheese puffs, I'll be able to make room for some whipped cream. And I still have plenty of room to add them back inside, but I will only put half of them back in there. Let's seal up the bottom with some hot glue. Now when your victim opens up their bag of cheese puffs, they'll be super disappointed. Let's booby trap a can of soda, and for this example I'll be using some Coke. To pull this off, we'll need the help of a binder. Apply a piece of tape on the corner of the binder and also a piece of tape on the table. This will protect both of them. Now we can hot glue the binder onto the table. Once it's dry, take the soda and flip it upside down. Try to get the notebook to be underneath the tab and just leave the can sitting on top. When someone gets thirsty and attempts to flip over the can, this will happen. They'll accidentally crack it open and make a little spill in the process. And let's not let that can of soda go to waste. Moving on to our next prank, simply just remove the tab from the soda can and cover it with the lid of a can of Pringles. Flip it over and let it sit there. The can will leak a little, but that's okay. It won't be as bad as when your victim completely flips over the can and gets soda all over the table. This tube of M&M's minis is perfect for the next booby trap. And really not much goes into this. All you have to do is apply some hot glue on the cap and place a piece of tape over the table or any surface. Flip over the tube and stick it onto the surface where you placed the piece of tape. At this point, the prank is set, and whoever sees this will casually try to flip over the tube of M&Ms, and it won't end pretty as all the M&M's minis will get all over the place. This is quite a mess. Enough with the snack and food pranks for now. Let's move on to other pranks. And here we'll be booby trapping an envelope, and to do that you'll need a small Ziploc bag. Simply fill it up with any liquid of your choice, but don't shut it. Leave it open and put it inside an envelope, and that envelope you will seal up, but make sure you leave it leaning on something so no spill occurs until it's ready to be opened by somebody. That person will be causing a mess. If you want to annoy somebody using their phone, try the following. When they're not looking, take their phone and stick a piece of tape over the charging port to block off the charger. So if it's not a well-lit room, your victim will struggle with this as they won't be able to figure out why they can't connect their phone to their charger. I love throwing and catching frisbees. It actually takes some skill to do that. Well anyway, a fun way to prank somebody is to take a frisbee and underneath spread some peanut butter on it right along the edges. Try to catch one of your friends or family members off guard by asking them to act quickly and catch the frisbee, and when they try to do that, chances are that they will catch it, and in doing so they'll have peanut butter all over their hand. This next prank you can set up in a dark room. Simply take a piece of clear tape and place it over the switch that turns on the lights. On it, create a stain with a marker just like this one. Next time someone comes into the room and tries to turn on the lights, they'll end up staining their hands. If you have a little brother or sister that's pretty short, to keep them from turning on any lights or fans, simply just take the cords and make them unreachable for those short people in your household. They'll definitely have a hard time getting those cords. I just love messing with the mouse of any computer, and not a lot goes into setting up this prank. All you gotta do is take a piece of tape and stick it on the bottom of the mouse, right where the sensor is. It will drive them crazy for a few seconds when they notice that their mouse is not working properly. Poppets are one of my favorite prank items, and these are really great for setting up some really funny booby traps. So if you ever see a clipboard hanging somewhere, grab it and set up the following booby trap with some poppets. Just lift up the clip and add a few poppets inside. Put it back where it goes, and you're bound to get someone real good when they open up the clip. The next few pranks you can set up at home using your favorite cans of Pringles, and this first one of the bunch is very easy and clever. Basically what we're gonna do is cut out the center of the lid. Notice that we are not removing the lid. We want our victim to think that the lid is still on. This will catch them off guard. Now let's place a napkin over the top and flip the can upside down. Once we slide the napkin out, just get another can of Pringles and that one too flip upside down to again trick our victim. They both will look identical, they both will have lids, and they both will be upside down. So if they flip this one over, nothing will happen. And then when they try to lift up the booby trap can, the chips will get all over the place. Now if you think that your victim is too clever to fall for that booby trap, well, let's try the following. Simply take a can opener and begin to remove the bottom of the can. Another napkin will help lay down the can without leaving any chips out. See, right now it looks like a regular can of chips, and whoever lifts up these Pringles will end up with a mess on the table and possibly on the floor. Next up, let's use that same can of Pringles that we just booby trapped, and the setup is just as easy. This time we'll be taking a water bottle that's 1/3 full and lay it on its side. Twist off the cap, and now we can put it inside the can. And do that from the top of the can, not the bottom end. A few chips should help us cover our tracks, and now all we do is place the lid on and the prank is set. Just make sure that the bottom end of the can is not visible to your victim. When they casually pick up the can of Pringles, a spill will occur. Just try it out next time you have a can of Pringles. For the next Pringles can booby trap, you'll need to get a can opener and once more begin to work on the bottom of the can, except that the idea here is to create an opening on the bottom. Don't remove the whole thing. As far as the lid, apply a whole bunch of hot glue on it right on the center. And here I filled up a whole bottle with Kool-Aid, and yes, I will be sticking that onto the lid. Twist off the cap, and once it dries, we can place the can over the bottle, and once again guys, the Pringles can will remain upside down. Eventually someone will flip it over, and just like the previous prank, a spill will happen. And you guys know I just love spills, so why not create another one? But this time, I'm gonna use a water balloon to help me out. I've put some food coloring inside and filled it up with water. But I did not tie this balloon because we're gonna put it inside the can with the tip of the balloon sticking out. The lid should help keep it in place and prevent it from leaking. Now all we do is apply some hot glue on the lid and flip it over, as we are gonna stick it on the table. Once this dries up, the prank will be ready to be executed. Just have someone come grab the chips for you and then this will happen. I love how the balloon just starts shooting water all over the place. Check out the following pranks that you can do with school supplies. Here I have a regular looking pen that belongs to someone that lives with me. Well, what I'm gonna do is take a dry erase marker and start to color in the pen. For example, here I'm just covering the pencil grip. When someone tries to use this pen, they'll end up with a messy hand. Here I have some clear tape and it's still in its dispenser. What I like about this one is that it's transparent on one side but not the other. So I'll pry it open and with some shoe polish I'll stain the top of the roll of tape. I'm adding just enough to make a little mess. Let's cover it up, and when someone tries to get a piece of tape, they'll get shoe polish all over themselves. A great way to booby trap a trash bin that looks like this one is to open up the lid and take a sheet of paper and attach one end to the edge of the trash bin. You can use tape for that. The other end of the sheet of paper will be taped onto the lid, right on the end of it, so it should look something like this. Before we close up the lid, I'm gonna add some oats on top of the sheet of paper. Now let's close it up and wait for someone to open up this trash bin. Oats will get all over the place, so it's an extra mess that your victim will have to clean up. These last few pranks are phone pranks that will annoy just about anyone that you decide to prank. For example here, someone left their phone unattended, so to irritate them a bit, I'm gonna take their phone, and since it's got a case, I'll pop it out and flip over the phone and then just place it back inside the case, but this time it will be upside down. So let's lay the phone face down, and now for example, let's say the phone rings. The owner of the phone will come over, and as they attempt to answer, they won't be able to right away because of the phone being upside down. I know this really would annoy me if I fell for this prank. Now let's give someone a big scare with their phone. First, borrow their phone and pretend to use it, and when they're not paying attention, attach a retractable key holder onto the case of the phone. You can also use a string or shoelace, but I prefer the retractable effect I get with this one. Here's how this prank will play out. As you end your pretend call, try to hand over their phone, but as you're about to do so, let go of it, and for a split second, they'll think that their phone almost fell on the floor, but of course it didn't. It's so much fun to scare them. If you're a good actor, you should be able to pull off this prank with ease. This next phone prank, Sinfado actually recently showed you how to pull it off, but I'm gonna add a little bit more to that setup. First, let's take your victim's phone, and it must have a case. Since this is an iPhone 8, and luckily I have an iPhone 8 box with a picture of the phone on it, which also happens to be the exact same size, well, all I have to do is cut out the portion of the camera, since it's the only part that I'll need to pull off this prank, because as you can see right here, it's the only visible area on the phone case. So let's tape that onto the inside of the phone case, right where it would normally go. See guys, if we flip it over, now it actually looks like there's a phone in there, so the owner of the phone will freak out when they see that a heavy weight is on top of their phone case, thinking their phone is getting damaged. This prank is sure to get them good. Again, one of our family members left their phone laying around. Well, if we act fast, we can booby trap it, and here's how. All we need is a piece of tape. This duct tape will do just fine. Let's stick a half strip of tape onto the phone, right on the bottom end. The other end we will firmly attach onto the table while the phone is upside down. Let's flip it over, and at this point there's nothing fishy or suspicious about this. But when the owner of this phone picks it up, that's when the fun begins. Results vary with this prank depending on how strong the tape is and if your victim has a good grip on their phone or not. Lastly guys, something that will infuriate our victims is if we take their phone when they're not looking and make it hard to access. What I mean by that is that you can wrap their phone with plastic wrap, just like I'm doing right here. Secure it on with some hot glue, and then cover it up with layers of tape. Use as much as you want. And not only that guys, let's tighten some zip ties around the phone. Doing this will give them a hard time when they try to use their phone. It really is super annoying, so try it out guys. There you guys have it, 30 pranks and booby traps that you can successfully pull off at home on friends and family members. You will definitely not be bored setting up these simple household pranks. Before I end this video, I'd like to remind you guys about the movie that I'll be starring in, Prankster. If you guys want to show your support, also listed in the description is the Indiegogo campaign link for the film. Thanks for stopping by, pranksters. I'll see you guys in my next video.